doing a little video here. I don't have my mic or anything, who cares? And I'm not gonna do the little selfie stick so you can see me, who cares? Just wanted to do one with it being like 100 degrees tonight, or today, and it'll probably be 80 tonight. Ugh. Oh, look at the moon. Oh, there it is. Just now getting a little bit dark. What's funny is you can see the red flashing light up here. Now that the sun is down, that is a motion sensor that flashes lights before I walk up on it. It imitates dogs barking and guns shooting. I've got 2 of those on each corner, and on the opposite corners, I have just a high-pitched sound that's supposed to keep deer, coons, etc. away. But even though it's a little past sunset, that is a beautiful skyline. Anyway, no, I wanted to make a little video just on, yeah, that thing's gonna go off. Oh well. You guys can hear it now. All right. You can see the pumpkins are taking off like crazy. The cantaloupe and watermelons, just so-so. I got in there today and I tilled as much as I could, but instead of going up and down the rows, I literally had to, because some of the rows were, I don't know, they just haven't came up. And part of them, you can tell something's dug them up. On the corn, you can tell something has pulled some ears off, most likely coons. Again, that's the negatives about coming out here about once every weekend. On the flip side, the okra got it going on like a rock star. It is just about to the point where it's going to start producing. Again, squash, cucumbers, and zucchini are normally about the easiest thing you can grow. And I mean, just a few plants put out a ton of produce. I have had a lot of trouble. I did notice on the zucchini today, I went and just plowed over it, a ton of squash bugs, what they call them. I don't know what the official name is. Blueberries are doing really good. This row is 2 years. It's really, they say 2 years is when it starts producing. It's really more 3 years. But got those wired up, tilled. I just need to clean out in between them a little bit more. The ones next to it are first year. I mixed in a few different varieties. Oh, here goes another alarm. But all that to say, it is definitely not, it's really tricky, in other words, to try to take care of a garden, especially if I expand it next year, if you're not here at least half the time. Next year, Lord willing, I should be. But case in point, I'm still a novice on all this. My dad, much more in the know than me, obviously. But here's the other one. Oh, there it goes. High pitch, supposedly drives away animals. Not sure if it does or not. Here we go. Again, 100-degree weather is no bueno after very long because I can't keep enough water on everything. So I'm gonna pretty much fire up the sprinkler system tonight and pretty much try to at least run it 3 or 4 times. Full gas, unfortunately, only lasts about an hour and a half, but it is what it is. Anyway, all this to say, this is not perfect, but that's life. So if you guys are like, well, I wanted to make my own building, I can't get it perfect. Well, I wanted to do my own garden, I can't get it perfect. Well, I mean, that's life. I mean, no big deal. Just figure it out. Again, from everything between the little Zen garden that's not so Zen, even though, hey, at least the, you can see I've got to cut some of these little sycamore trees down. They're starting to get a little bit crazy, but you can also see the nice solar lights. At least those work. But anyway, short video, but all I wanted to say is the garden is definitely more science than art, or is it more art than science? But you know, if you guys are like having the same struggles, don't worry about it. I'm not letting this dissuade me at all. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, wait, what's the point of this video? Making money. Roughly speaking, at an average farmer's market, especially today, you should be able to sell pretty much all the produce you make without much problem, unless you are in a heavily farmed area. But at the same time, you gotta grow the produce. So right now, that's like just one of the gardens. The future garden, you can't see it, well, behind that big brush pile of junk. Next to the little building is another one. I didn't plant it this year because I know working more than full time, I don't have the ability to maintain it. And then the other garden, well, you can't see it. It's way over there, closer to my parents' place. That one obviously is doing the best, but no, it's definitely gonna be more of an art than a science, trying to figure out, okay, how much can I actually make from this? But just to kind of give you guys an idea, I'll go ahead and walk around the pond so it's not me just standing in one spot. Hopefully I don't get snake bit or something. But just to kind of give you guys an idea, a couple of years ago, my nephews and niece, off of just 3 rows of blackberries. Oh, there's Walden. Isn't that nice? Whoop. Still in bloom. Okay, anyway. Just a couple of years ago, from 3 rows of blackberries, and we said, hey, you know what? You guys want to raise some money? Just sell these either to the local Mennonite shop, or literally, we set up a little area just off the road where you know, a permit or anything in this county is not needed, blah, blah, blah. Still, 3 rows of blackberries. I think they ended up making about $3,000. Again, $3,000. James, I can't live off $3,000 a year. Okay, totally get that. But that's $3,000 for just 3 rows of blackberries. And honestly, I think we gave away over 50%. So it wasn't like we were, you know, even trying. Okay, if you think about corn, if you think about tomatoes, I mean, you easily, on even just a mediocre sized garden, should probably be able to make a supplemental, I think I factored in roughly $5,000, just to be safe. Hopefully what that means is actually more like 10 grand. But yeah, definitely you're not gonna get rich doing it. But if a person is somewhat minimalistic and they're not like, dude, I need 5 cars, you can make it work. I keep walking through spider webs. But that's the main thing, is just saying, hey, James, how are you gonna make money? Well, I've already walked you guys through the 72T thing. That basically, from working my blank off all these years, that basically nets me, well, we'll see, somewhere between $1,200, maybe $1,500 a month, just from the 401k and the 72T. Like I said before, no need to go into all that again, but that basically is without penalty. Bad thing, good thing, whoever you want to look at it as, it's a minimum of 5 years or until you're 59 and a half, whichever is longer. To me, it's not that big a deal, because all that means is, hey, James, you can't withdraw your 401k early. Well, I wasn't going to anyway. Well, if you do, you're gonna have to pay back all those penalties. Like I said, I'm not going to anyway. Whoa, there's a big spider. Don't walk through that. Yuck. All right, you got half of those already on me. Whoa, get out of here. But yeah, case in point, nothing is going to be perfect. And of course, like I told my buddy Scott that's moving to the Philippines, dude, if you're wanting to make more money, stay here. Don't go to the Philippines. But, you know, so you kind of got to pick your poison. I mean, if you want to just rinse and repeat, you know, buy more shit, and maybe it will eventually, you know. You buy a big enough house, you buy a big enough car, maybe 10 cars, 20 cars. Maybe eventually you'll hit the jackpot and it will, you know, make you happy, but probably not. So, point being, we'll see what happens, but that is the down low. Not perfect. The garden is definitely not like, hey guys, it is so without error. Oh my gosh, this is going perfect. Nah, not really. I mean, it's going okay, but considering I'm only out here like once a week, but not perfect. So again though, praise the Lord. I'm totally content with this, and I say full speed ahead. Don't let yourself get, you know, down and out. That's life, right? So anyway, here's the water pump. I'm about to fire it up. Like, what's that? The Crow, fire it up, fire it up. Okay, anyway, I've rambled enough. Thanks. All right, pull started the old school water pump. Now you can't hardly see it now. Whoop. It's barely enough. I've got 6 sprinklers going. To be honest, it's probably better. Whoa, just got wet. Nasty pond water. It's probably best to do 3. But again, live and learn. Like I said, it's not perfect, but and also I didn't realize this. Live and learn. Apparently, dish soap, like Ivory or what's it called? Dawn, works wonders on basically all bugs, and it's totally harmless to your vegetation. So gonna try that. Some of the squash bugs, stuff like that. But again, I didn't spray anything. And again, when it's 100 degrees, it's hard to keep enough water on these plants. But again, like I said, live and learn. This is, and also it would be much nicer if the water pump was a little bit bigger and lasted a little bit longer and was a little bit stronger. But again, awesome. Note to self, that'll be a great backup. Maybe I need to get a better, stronger water pump for next time. But again, we'll see. So I'll put some pictures or something at the end just to kind of, you know, kind of show some of the produce we've gotten so far. Not quite what we're expecting, but at the same time, I don't know, just that kind of summarizes it all. Just kind of, you know, we're way past sunset, but still the skyline there, clouds, the sunlight still, multiplicity of colors. I don't know, that, just being able to kind of be still. Like I said on some of the other videos, it's almost worth it. Versus like, well, James, you can buy a lot more stuff you don't really need or want if I keep slaving away behind a desk. You know, maybe this will be a story of, hey guys, here's the stuff I did wrong. A couple years from now, I'm returning to that slave mentality at the desk. But even if that is the truth, even if that does happen, hopefully you guys will learn enough from either my success or my failure to, you know, to go out on a limb, take a chance. Life's too short, you know? All right, till next time, soak that in. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, fast forward to the morning. That's actually where I prefer. Just sit at the bench. Just kidding, actually not kidding, but. All right, yesterday I think I showed half of that, but it was trial and error piece of it again. Like I said, since I'm only here basically once a week on the weekend, it's a little tricky to keep everything completely under wraps. Blackberries seem to be coming along okay. That second year, first year ones here seem to be doing okay. Not growing quite as much as I thought. Really weird though, the cucumbers, squash, and zucchini, I tilled over several of them, but they were a lot of what they call squash bugs. Again, note to self, trial and error. Apparently Dove soap actually, or I'm sure any kind of dish soap, works wonders and is safe on the plants as well as takes care of the bugs. And you don't have to worry about, you know, residual hurting bees or anything like that. Seems like the okra's doing pretty well. Not as much on the corn. You can't really tell. It probably went too long without enough water. There are some ears being produced. And there's also some ears that something is yanked off and eaten. Again, you can see how it's kind of like a maze. Well, believe it or not, those were rows. It's just that for some reason the cantaloupe and the watermelon, which worked pretty well, oh, here comes the water. Oh, which worked pretty well last year, not so much this year, and I'm not sure why. The pumpkins coming along pretty nicely, but you can see that you get a few, and this is kind of what the squash ended up looking like. And then the odd thing is I don't see, usually you can kind of look under the leaf and you'll see a ton of those squash bugs, but I don't really see them on here. So I'm not sure why it's kind of wilting, but anyway, live and learn. But yes, it's definitely difficult to say, hey, I want to just kind of keep my day job, work in town, do this, come out on the weekend, kind of, pardon my language, half-ass it, and then hope that it works out. Because yeah, it definitely takes a decent amount of work. And again, just wanted to re-emphasize trial and error. So trust me, it's not like, wow, his garden is working great. Well, not really. I haven't gotten that much produce off of it, really. So we would be pretty hungry if we were counting on that for sustenance. But we'll leave it there. Okay, someone asked, I should have put that on the other video, but just to answer it, they ask about, it looks like you have a couple little fences, what in the world? Basically, we just drove one, medium height, electric wire, solar panel, Gallagher, oh, there's the water, connected it to another bottom one, and the top one, there's a little shed we built, the top one, there you go. Basically, that one's not electrified, but the thought process is the deer easily looks at this and says, no problem, jumps it. Well, they're going to get caught in the second one. Also, we've used some, the verdict's still out on the, what's it called, like Invisalign, where it's a liquid fence. It's supposed to keep animals out and about, to where you basically just spray a decent amount of it around this, and it'll pretty much keep them away, supposedly. But again, verdict's still out, but it makes it very difficult. Like I showed you last night, we've got the little corner pieces to try to keep some things distracted, but deer are pretty smart and they will figure out pretty quickly, wait a minute, that's not really a guy shooting a gun or a dog barking. So, but yep, that's what the odd fence row is. And then this, it's about grown back up, but plowed. I just need to, if we get enough rain, basically replow it, because that whole area, in theory, should be a garden as well next year.